In this video, I'm going to show you what happens when a student submits either a quiz or a Dropbox assignment, but while they're doing it, they get dropped from the internet for whatever reason that we have no control over. I'm going to start with this contact information card, which is basically a quiz. And I'm going to begin now. And I'm just going to type in some information. Now, I'm going to switch over to my Dropbox assignment. And I'm going to submit it. And I'm going to start typing. Now, the key now is I am going to purposely disconnect myself from the internet. Now I'm no longer connected to the internet, but I'm going to keep typing. First of all, if you see, while you're doing it, you're going to see an error message in the form of a pop-up window. But let's say you ignore that and you keep typing anyway. It just keeps popping up. So let's say you keep ignoring error messages and then you hit submit. You're going to see there's no internet connection. Again, you're going to see a slew of messages telling you you're not connected to the internet. So now let's go back to the quiz and let's start entering more information in the quiz after we're submitted, after we've been dropped, and then let's hit submit. You're about to submit this assessment. Are you sure you want to proceed? You're going to see OK. Could not connect to the server. Your work may not be saved. That's a pop-up message that will show up all the time when you're not connected. So then you go ahead and hit OK anyway. And save and continue later. But as you can see, you get warning messages. But it can't connect to the internet because you've been knocked offline. Now, because the student either ignored the messages saying they weren't connected, or they didn't see it because they had their pop-up windows pop-up blocker activated and they didn't see the pop-up at all, they're thinking that they have submitted their Dropbox and or their quiz. But if you look at the quiz, if they go back and actually click on it, it will show that they can resume button saying, hey, you didn't submit this. So if they click that, it's only going to see what they answered up until the point that they logged in. And with the Dropbox assignment, it's not going to show them anything because it didn't remember. It wasn't even online when you hit the save button, so there was nothing to save. So it acted as if there was nothing there at all. These are the things that happen when you're knocked off the internet. Now, one last thing that I want to show you is when you first log into Angel, we have a test right here to see if your system is compatible. If you don't see the window that pops up saying, hey, you were knocked off, you're not connected to the internet, that's because your pop-up window check, instead of seeing a green check here, there would be a red X here, and the student ignored that. And that's why they didn't see those messages that we were attempting to send. And when they log in, that browser check is featured once again. If they had pop-up windows blocked, they wouldn't see that. There would be a big red X here. So again, we're trying to send them the information saying, hey, there's a problem. Either they ignore the pop-up window if the pop-up window is activated, or even worse, they have their pop-up blockers turned on and they don't even see them. But again, this is student error, not a problem with the system. Now here's the activity log for that student. From here you can see that the contact information card was delivered, but while the student was attempting to answer the questions, they got knocked off the internet. And even though you saw me hit the submit button, it didn't submit it. I ignored the pop-up windows telling you there was a problem, and as a result, there was no confirmation of that information ever being submitted. And the reason is because they weren't on the internet when they clicked it. Now this was when I picked up after I was reconnected to the internet, and you saw earlier in the video that only the first few questions were answered up until the point that I got knocked off, and I wouldn't have been able to continue the exam until. Hope this helps explain what's going on.